Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on today. This episode of As the Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose. I am your host, Nacho Mama. Some people call me Crystal, some people call me Criddle, like Riddle with a C. Either way, Nacho Mama is a personality, not a person. Today we're going to read for the collective of Virgo, the Virgo collective. Doesn't matter if you're a man dealing with a woman dealing with a man dealing with a man, or a woman dealing with a woman. We're just going to read for the Virgo collective, see what sort of messages Spirit has for y'all today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. I'm super excited to be where I'm at and can't wait to see where I go. So thank you to all of you that have subscribed, and thank you in advance to all of you that are about to. Much appreciated, you guys. Please remember to hit that little like button, drop down and say hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Virgo. See what sort of messages Spirit has for y'all today. Virgo. I keep wanting to say he's one taco short of a combination plate. So we have manipulative, aloof, and remorse. And realization. So right away, I feel like, besides one taco short of a combination plate, I feel like there's a lot of assumptions here. I feel like there's been a lot of assumptions, like assume, ask you, me, assume. Like most of your problems in your life have come from assuming things would be this way, assuming things would be that way, assuming this, assuming that, you know, without ever really asking questions. And I feel like a lot of the problems that you're experiencing right now are from an assumption, you know, are caused by assuming, you know, that things will be this one way when the realization hits that that's not the way it is. You know, you might be dealing with a manipulative energy, somebody that's very manipulating in the way that they respond or answer questions, you know. Or this could be you, Virgo. You could be manipulating in your responses or the way you handle things, you know. But I think by assuming things, it's created a lot of problems, not only for you but for other people. You know, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Assume, ass, you, me. You know, but you have the power of creation here. You know, you have the power of free will. You have the power of words, you know. But I feel like whatever happened is made you all out of whack, you know. Whatever sort of assumptions that have been made has put a lot of this chaos energy in the air, you know. But it's like, how did we manifest that? You know, how did we have the power of creation, so how do we keep creating all this bullshit? And it's by looking at everything thinking that it's bullshit, you know, or by looking at everything and creating some sort of bullshit in your mind about whatever's going on in your life. When you are constantly looking at things and thinking that they are true, taking your feelings and turning them into truth, you're assuming that that's really what the truth is. But the truth that might be true for you, but it might not be the truth. I feel like there's been a lot of assumptions here. You know, I know some of my biggest problems that I've ever made in my life have came from my assumptions. You know, I assumed this one thing and then take it and turn it into the truth and then run with that truth, even though it's not the truth. It was true for me, you know, and it was all based off of some sort of assumption that I had created in my mind, you know. And the problem with assumptions is we believe them to be true. We have the Hermit card, which is your card in reverse. So, kitty, sorry guys, my cat's in here today. We have indecision. We have you in the reverse about an indecision. So you aren't decided if your beliefs are your truth, or if what the truth is why you feel the way that you feel. You know, there's a fine line between believing something is the truth and it actually being the truth. You know, just because you feel something doesn't mean that it's necessarily true. I mean, it could be true for you, but it doesn't make it the truth. And that's the problem with assuming things. You know, when we assume that one thing is one way, we make it our truth. It doesn't make it the truth, but we make it our truth by assuming. But you have cooperation, you have collaboration, you have cooperation, you have balance, you have generosity. You know, you're making it through the levels, stepping through. You could be dealing with the Taurus. We have Taurus. What else do we have here? Taurus so far. You could have some sort of generosity from a Taurus. But this is definitely spiritually guided. The spirit has definitely, we have 2 Taurus cards on the table. So this is definitely divinely guided, you know, in some sort of lesson, you know. Some of the hardest lessons I've had to learn in my life have been not to assume things, you know. Start asking questions. You know, you have purpose. Yep, that was the purpose. Like, a lot of problems have come from assuming. Well, I assumed it was like this, or I thought it was this way, when really it wasn't at all. Like, you just assumed that, you know, there would be this and this and this, or that this was taken care of, or that that was taken care of, without ever actually asking questions, you know, without trying to communicate. You know, it's like we all think that we're mind readers and that we can read every situation and every person. And we put all these assumptions in place and then act like they're the truth. When in all reality, that's not the truth at all. Possibilities. So we have the Fool. Either somebody was acting a fool, or it's like you need to take some sort of leap of faith, like have faith that you are being guided, that you are learning, that you can trust. You know, when we assume that everything is out to get us, then everything that happens to us is out to get us. But you have collaboration, you have cooperation, you have spiritual guidance. You have intuition. Boom. And ascension. So you're going to rise above whatever this situation is. You're going to learn how to not make assumptions, you know, and not make assumptions and not use like condescending remarks to people, you know. Like, you could be dealing with somebody that's very condescending, or you could be very condescending when you don't get your way, or you don't ask the right questions, or the questions that you do ask are in a very, very condescending type of energy. You know, like, don't be so beat around the bush with stuff. And, you know, don't ask your questions in a manipulative, condescending way. Ask questions in a curious, compassionate, kind-hearted, you know, just looking for the answers type of way, you know. Because you're all out of balance. The biggest troubles, I believe, are in your head, Virgo. Like, you are your own worst enemy, for sure. And then you turn your own worst enemy out on everybody around you. Yeah, you don't feel like it's possible. You don't feel that everything is part of the divine plan, that there's endless possibilities. You know, the twos are seeds. They're seeds of manifestation, of energy. You know, and you got to be careful of what kind of seeds you're planting, because it seems like you're planting seeds of doubt. It seems like you're planting seeds of turmoil, or somebody's trying to plant seeds of doubt and turmoil inside of you. You know, but I think the biggest problems that we face are mostly from our own mind, mostly in the perception of how we believe things are, you know? And a lot of that comes from assumptions. I mean, what would it be like if you didn't assume anything today? Don't assume anything. You know, unless it's presented as actual fact, don't assume. You know, it's like don't count your chickens before your eggs hatch, you know? That's assuming, that's part of like assuming that you're going to have all those chickens when who knows what happens to them until they hatch, right? So don't assume that everything's going to be one way when in all reality there's so many different possibilities that it can that can happen from that one possibility, from the one outcome. There's always more than one possible possibility, you know? But don't manifest the worst case possibility either. Hi, kitty. Stagnation. You have love there. You have people there. You have people that are willing to help you. You have people that are willing to grow with you, to create with you. And it's like you're so focused on these cups in front of you, you know, that you don't see this person behind you holding this cup trying to help you because you're so focused on the empty cups that you have. It's like both of them are factual, you know? Both of it is factual. Yeah, these cups might be empty, but there's still full cups there. It might not be exactly the way you want it. It might be not be who you want it to be, but there's still someone there. There's still love there. There's still help there. There's still growth there. And we have the Tower. Towers only fall when you build on faulty foundations. And that faulty foundation could seriously just be assuming that something is the way it is when really it's not. When you, assumptions make so many problems. I can speak from experience. I don't know how many times I assumed things were one way and then I got myself in all kinds of a mind fuckery because I thought things were one way or another and they weren't. You know, then the actual reality is that it wasn't the reality. When you assume that a person feels this way without talking to them, when you assume that, you know, you'll have this money before you ever get it, when you assume that, this person is this way or that way because of the clothes they wear, because of the way that they carry themselves, you know, when you assume that this is the outcome that's going to happen because this is what happened before in the past. Like there's so many different types of assumptions that we make on a very regular basis. And the problem with them is that we convince ourselves that they're true without there ever being any actual fact. We convince ourselves that that's the truth, you know, when in reality, we just assumed it was. I believe a lot of the problems can be solved by communication, by honest communication, you know? By building, like you are one step away from having your sanctuary, your stability. But I don't think that you see it. I don't think that you see how your work has come to fruition. I don't think you see how you have stability, how you have sanctuary. You might not feel that you have any sort of sanctuary or growth. But towers only fall when we built on faulty foundations. So some sort of mindset, some sort of opportunity, some sort of assumption, some sort of projection has created this tower. And I think that 99.9% of the problems mostly live in our heads, man. Yeah, you're working against your own self. I think you're working against yourself, Virgo. In how you perceive things to be, and how you project those perceptions onto other people. And I just feel this real condescending energy, you know? Like people don't tell you exactly what they want. They beat around the bush and make hints, and then hopefully they assume that you understand what they were talking about. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. Like, you're an adult, talk like an adult, you know, ask for what you need as an adult. Have faith and trust that you can. Trust takes two sides. Not only do you have to trust, not only does a person have to trust what you're saying is true, you have to be able to trust that you can tell somebody something, you know? That you can ask for what you need. And that's on both sides. You know, if you're constantly, every time that you ask somebody for something and they just beat you down for it, or treat you like you're less than, or act in some sort of condescending, passive aggressive type of energy, then you're going to stop asking, you know, or they're going to stop asking. Be really mindful with your words right now. Don't say things that are going to hurt someone else on purpose. Sometimes we have a tendency to beat around the bush and say things that we don't really mean, because we're angry, you know, because we are unfulfilled, because we assumed that somebody should know this. Oh, you should know this, you know. Well, I mean, if they should have known that, then they would have known that, you know. You should have known how I felt. You should know, but did you ever actually discuss it with them? Or did they ever actually discuss it with you? We put so much assumption out into the world, especially with the people that we love and the people that we deal with. And then we're hurt by our own assumptions. Oh, I assumed you would know better than to do that. I assumed that, you know, you just had it in your head that, oh, they would never do this because, you know, I did this and this and this. And then they go and do it. And then you're super hurt by it. You know, when it was never discussed in the first place. You know, well, please, if I do this for you, can you please not do this? This is my expectations. You know, I'm expecting you to do X, Y, and Z. I'm expecting you to act in X, Y, and Z, you know? But without it ever being said, then you're just assuming that they already know what that X, Y, and Z is. And then you're involved in some one-sided contract that the person didn't even know that they were in. So be careful with your assumptions. I really think that assuming has been your biggest devil, your biggest obstacle, some of the most significant trials and errors in your life have come from assumptions, either from assuming something about somebody else or somebody else assuming something about you without ever having any sort of real clear communication. We just assume. And it happens all the time, every day, on so many different levels, you know? There's one thing for hoping for something and, you know, trying to manifest something than actually assuming something. There's a fine line, because the power of assumption, that's also your manifestations, you know? But I feel like you're worried. You're worried. You're up in your head. You're holding on to everything that you have, everything that you feel. You're not expressing anything. You're just projecting instead of expressing, and then assuming. Or that's what this person is doing to you. Let's see what we can get from the angel affirmations. What can we get for the Virgos today, angels? What sort of messages do you have for the Virgos that are watching this video? Giving and receiving. The entire universe operates in cycles similar to your inhalations and exhalations. When you only exhale, give, or only inhale, receive, you become out of rhythm with the universe. For optimal health, energize, and replenishment, balance each inhalation in your life with an exhalation. And innocence. Beloved one, everyone is guiltless in truth, as no one can alter God's handiwork of perfection. Give us your feelings of heaviness so we can lighten your load. Give us any guilt, anger, or blame that may shroud your loving outlook. Enjoy the peace within your heart once more. Child, you care deeply about children, and they readily respond to your love. All children, including your own inner child, require love, affection, and attention. We could clear and open your heart and schedule so that you could give more time and energy to the children who need you. Daydream. You will more easily hear us and receive our messages if you daydream regularly. Relax and open your mind to receiving without any directing your thoughts. Just notice any feelings, visions, or ideas that you were like if you were watching a movie. This is the seat of creativity, right? But if you're sitting there daydreaming all day long about all the negative aspects that could go wrong, and about the conversations you didn't have with people that you should have had with people, arguments that you're still replaying in your head, over and over again, and like just stop and breathe. Change in direction. The changes you're experiencing are divinely directed by your newborn willingness to open your heart to love and our guidance. You are protected now and in the future, so follow your path to the happy outcome you desire. Let's see what sort of messages we could get from Spirit of Ganesh. Ganesh. What sort of messages do you have for the Virgo clan out there? Virgo gang. Substance. It's the number 7 card. You are in a time of abundance where there's more than enough to support and nourish your desires. Ganesha encourages you to appreciate all the blessings, treats, gifts, friendship, and love surrounding you. Nourishing your soul can mean finding interesting and exciting stimulating ways to experience life. This is a time to learn, grow, and change. It can also mean that refusing to create, experience, and grow can be detrimental to you. Only you can truly know what your soul desires. It is essential to find ways to understand and to do something about your needs. This means listening to your inner dreams, hopes, and wishes. On occasion, it may mean acting in ways contrary to what others expect or hope from you. Let's get one more. Spiritual quest. Spiritual quest. You were called to realize your full potential and choose to become a force for good in the world. Whether or not you are aware of it, you are embarking on a great spiritual quest. Your soul is leading you to a myriad of discoveries about who you truly are and what you came here to achieve in this lifetime. Each of us has a unique journey that is tailored especially for us and designed for us to reach our highest potential. During this quest, you will gain significant insight into your purpose. For many, this journey will have been preceded by a period of upheaval, confusion, and conflict, which has birthed a desire for greater clarity and concrete answers about the meaning and purpose of your life. From this spiritual journey you are undertaking, you will gain wisdom, enlightenment, and enhanced sense of your personal power. As you travel on this path, make a point to commit to the quest and not be tempted by distractions that may cause you to veer off track. Ganesha urges you to focus your energy less on having and more simply being. Your spiritual growth can be enhanced by the regular practice of meditation and self-reflection at this time. Let's get some from the 4 agreements. What do we have from the 4 agreements? for the Virgos out there. Let go of self-judgment and blame. Being impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself for anything. Don't make assumptions. Eliminate gossip. Making assumptions is a setup for suffering because usually we gossip about our assumptions. We make assumptions and then we believe we are right. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make others wrong. Assumptions are tricky little creatures, man. Because we believe wholeheartedly that our assumption is the truth, you know? What else can we get for the Virgo collective? Don't take anything personally. Love and respect yourself. You are never responsible for the actions of others, but you are responsible for you. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift if they walk away from you. But you may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. And that goes both ways. If you're not treating someone right and then they walk away, they have every right to walk away if you're not treating them right. Always do your best. Stay in the present moment. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. I'm going to read that again. Keep your attention on today. Not what happened yesterday, not what happened years ago, not what happened a decade ago, not what's going to happen tomorrow. What's happening right now? Today. Today is all we have. The past no longer exists and the future is determined by our now. So what you do now is the most important. Let's get one more. Be impeccable with your word. Enjoy heaven on earth. Impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, success, and abundance. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. I'm pretty sure those are your messages for today, Virgo. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you so feel inclined. And remember, don't assume anything, all right? And choose to have a good day. You can't have a bad day with a good attitude. You can't have a good day with a bad attitude. All right? That choice is always, 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 always ours. And once you become aware of that, you know, just if you're having a bad day, accept that's the choice that you're made. Like, okay, I am choosing to have a bad day. I'm accepting that I'm accepting and conscious of the fact that I am choosing to have a bad day today. You know, just because outside circumstances seem to be happening to you doesn't mean that you can, that has to ruin your day. You know? So just take accountability for how it is that you feel. No matter if it's good or bad. At least own it, right? I love you guys. And until next time, Nacho Mama out. Vroom, beep, beep.